In this video, I want to talk about probably the most sensitive relationship of my life uh, to talk about, and it's the person that caused me the most pain on many levels by far, um, and put the most fear into me most of my life, and that is uh, the father I was born under. You know, I may not consider him my real father, like, because I think my real father is somewhere out there in the universe or something. Not my biological father. I don't believe, because I just never really connected with my biological father, but even though I tried, um, but my father is a psychopath, um, and a very scary one because of how good his good guy performance, uh, religious Christian type performance, good guy in the neighborhood, you know, um, the altruistic type, the best performance of a good guy you could imagine. That's why he's so dangerous. Um, Even I like the good guy fake mask he puts on. Even me, and I know who he really is underneath the mask. So that's how uh, deadly I think he's the most deadly person to me, and he's deadly to others that he's around. But to me, he was the most deadly individual, and I just happened to be born under him. I just happen to be his son, but I consider him the most deadly, most dangerous uh, individual to me. My mother's pretty bad, but she's nothing compared to my father. But anyways, I feel like to heal, I have to talk about this kind of thing, because I'm still affected by it, even uh, years after no contact. I'm still affected by um, memories and stuff, uh, and I'm really ashamed of myself for obeying so much, just complying so much, and just caving so much, and doing whatever they say so much, and totally controlled. I'm so ashamed of myself that I was so controlled, and I just caved because I didn't think I could counter them, because their good guy performance was so good, and then their real selves behind closed doors was so brutal. So that combo, I just felt like I was up against something that was impossible to beat. And now that I've watched professionals on scapegoating, it was impossible to beat it. You just had to survive it. That's the only thing you could do, and that's what I did. So I did the best I could do, and that was to survive it all, somehow get through it all. But anyways, um, but I still feel that ashamedness, that shame, that or that guilt that is put on me. I still feel that even now. And it's kind of crazy, and it even causes anxiety. It's just, I don't know, but I feel like if I talk about it, I won't be as fearful of it all, and it won't affect me as much. um I don't know, because somehow they can still get in my head. You know I probably allow it, but somehow they still get into my head. into my head and affect me. So I can't focus on the here and the now and focus on my new life I'm trying to create for myself. They still get in my head and kind of distract me. Um, and I've heard about psychic attacks that they do. There may be some truth to that. Psychic attacks plus nightmares. I've had nightmares with them in it. You know, so they attack you in your nightmares. There may be some truth to that. It sounds crazy, but there may be some truth to it because I've experienced these things. But um, I thought uh, my troubles would be over at this point. I was naive um, to think I'd be fully healed and strong by this point. Um, if I just stayed away for a long little while. I was kind of naive, I guess, but I never did it before, so I didn't know what to expect. Um, how I would heal, how things would go. Uh, I don't know how the mental fight would go and spiritual warfare would go, and because it does feel like a spiritual warfare type of thing, or mental warfare type of thing. Um, not only in your upbringing, but to survive it, but even in the aftermath, it still feels like a mental warfare thing. And I'm still allowing them to get in my head and control me. And I'm ashamed of that fact, but because I shouldn't. I know what they are. I know better than most that they're not good people. I know this, despite my parents' good performance of being good people, they're not. You know. Um, anyways, that's pretty much all I wanted to say for this video. Is that um, I have to overcome the shame that my father put on me, the ashamed feeling. You know, how I got tricked for so long, how I obeyed him for so long, just how I got worked for so long. Um, yeah, it's crazy how they did that, you know, and I didn't even see it coming really. Um, I look back and I'm like, was there more that I could even do to survive it differently? Could I have run away? But where would I have run away to? There was nothing like I was too young to run away and survive. Um, I don't know. Hell, I even think it's tough to survive even at my age on my own. But anyways, but yeah, I didn't stand up for myself. I'm like, why didn't I stand up for myself really? There was a few times where I talked back that I remember, but for the most part, I just shut up and just took it. Um, and I'm ashamed of myself for that. That I was such a pushover, like, oh, just let them win, I don't care, type of a pushover. Um, I guess a lot of it has to do with um, I wasn't defended by anybody. I wasn't defended by God even. So that really made me feel really low, like super low. Self-esteem super low because, not even the the greatest being in the universe, supposedly, that loves you unconditionally, stepped in. Not even that individual stepped in to defend me, you know. And so that was a big blow. So uh, and I learned that there is a thing about scapegoats having God issues, and I've learned about that. Um, Not just having issues with the psychopath parents, but you're having issues with God at the same time. And that was the situation I was in. It was like a dual thing going on. Like I was having issues with my parents, you know. I knew what they did to me wasn't right, or how they were treating me wasn't right, but couldn't say anything. And then when I was away from my parents, like just driving to a friend's house, I'd be pissed off at God. You know what I mean? It was a duality. It was just like a hate my parents, hate God type of thing going on. And that's something that I have to work through. You know, I really have to work through that. You know, because I was that way for so long. I had that hate for so long that it's hard to change that and reverse that into love. You know, change that hate into love. That you had for so long, and you don't even know what love is. I know I don't. And even when you try to figure it out, you still don't know what love is, because you never experienced it, and you never were shown it, ever, in your life. So how are you supposed to feel it? How are you supposed to feel love when you never were treated well? You weren't loved at all, really. You were just kind of there, you know. Um, so, anyways, I know that's something I have to overcome, is that my father issues. Mentally I have to overcome my father, my biological father. Um, Even though I don't consider it, I call him an it. It- it's an it because it's not a real person to me. Um, Even though the performance is kind of convincing, the good guy performance. Um, I don't know. Somehow I have to not let it control me and affect me so much. And yeah, and I have to stay strong through the holiday season, as well. Because there's going to be Hoover attempts, every year during the holiday season. There's Hoover attempts. Um, so gotta be vigilant. Um, Anyways, and you gotta be vigilant with yourself, as well. Gotta be disciplined with yourself to stay away, So that's what I gotta do. So, anyways, that's all I will say for this video.